We are up and about for the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, the brand new rebadged VFL competition. We're going to take a look at that now. And when I say rebadged, it's actually not. That's the wrong terminology. VFL is still there, but it's just been added to by some clubs from other areas, Flow Man. How does this work? How does the VFL have like 6 clubs in it from New South Wales and Victoria?
And then Queensland too, any AFL clubs coming together. I thought this was an opportunity to the AFL to make a real statement that this is like with basketball, where if you remember the NBL was the chief competition, then they had the Southeast competition,
yes.
And that was like I think the Buffaloes, were an Adelaide side in that played. They were like the secondary team to get your good players to come together that would then eventually make it to the NBL. I don't understand why we didn't call this the, say, East Coast Football League. Given that there's no South Australian and Western Australian sides in it, it seems to me that you bring, say, standalone clubs out of Queensland like Aspley, and then out of Victoria like Coburg, Frankston, the Northern Bull Ants, who haven't played in the VFL since, 2003, when they were the affiliate, with Carlton at that time. Then you've got Port Melbourne, which are quite a famous side in VFL terms. Southport, or VFA, actually, I go back to VFA.
Southport,
Queensland.
I've been to their footy club at Southport. An amazing setup they have there, just a beautiful ground, and this is a football club that has a bottle shop in its club rooms. It has an all-you-can-eat buffet set up.
You remember?
I remember that well because that was quite good. It has a sportsman's bar. It has a creche. Their footy club has a creche.
Yes, exactly what the netballing mums need.
It's what I would have thought. And you walk in the front door at the Southport Sharks Football Club, and there are literally sharks in tanks. No laser beams on their heads, but there are sharks in tanks swimming around as you enter the foyer at the Southport Footy Club. So
tell you
get around that.
Well, down at Werribee and
no sharks there.
No, Williamstown might be one or two if you're not careful coming up the river there at the port. But Williamstown, a great famous standalone club in VFA. So they're the old VFA clubs that came into the VFL there, and now then you talk standalone AFL clubs. Brisbane Lions have got a reserves team. Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon, Footscray, which is the Western Bulldogs reserves team. Geelong Cats, Gold Coast Suns, GWS Giants, North Melbourne, Richmond and Sydney Swans all have a reserves team in this comp. And then there is the aligned clubs, Sandringham, Box Hill Hawks, Casey Demons, of course, who have a affiliation with St Kilda, Hawthorn and Melbourne in those 3 clubs.
That's right. That gives you, folks, a grand total of 22 clubs, 11 fixtures every week. And all clubs have connections as well to NAB Under-19 competitions. Did you notice that?
It's an amazing thing. 22 teams. I can't see how this is better for football. I'm sure that the AFL has got some reasoning behind it. If this was something the AFL were thinking forward on, wouldn't they have included a Tasmanian side in this competition now for a look at how they might administrate and manage a club in the AFL in the future? Is that something that could have happened here?
Yes, quite frankly, and we've seen it before. It's been done in the past. I personally don't think Tasmania has earned the right to have an AFL side in yet, and I'll explain more about that down the track. But testing them in the VFL, making sure they were viable there, doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to be viable in the AFL, but you get a fairly good look at them.
And why not in this competition put a club in out of, say, Canberra and Wagga or something like that, say a Riverina New South Wales club? Is it just that Greater Western Sydney is in that zone? I mean...
Well, Flo, man, look, let's be honest about this. This is Mickey Mouse nonsense. This is 22 clubs over the eastern states. If the AFL are legit here, we've got a genuine AFL reserves competition where every club is represented and the matches are played either as curtain raisers or at a different ground at a different time on the same trip. That's what you do. We had a taste of hub life last year. Now would be the perfect time to do it. Instead, we've got the SANFL clubs and the Waffle clubs playing in those competitions. And we've got a mixture of, what is this, standalone clubs, some aligned with AFL clubs. Can we just get this right, AFL?
Yeah.
Can we just get this right?
Richmond play Sandringham on Friday, April the 16th at 12
And have a look
p.m.
at the time.
Yep, afternoon game. How do you do that if you work a job?
Well, Friday afternoon, midday. Who's going?
Not too many Richmond supporters for this one, but I reckon Frankston supporters will come out on the night game when they take on Coburg in that match Saturday. Now, this is interesting. Sydney Swans play GWS at TO, which is, of course, the Greater Western Sydney Stadium. I think that's what it is out there. Or is it...
TO, I've got no idea what that is.
Yeah, I think it is Greater Western Sydney's stadium. But Aspley from Queensland, they get a game against Port Melbourne. Brisbane Lions play Essendon, and Carlton play Southport. Werribee play Collingwood. Footscray play the Gold Coast Suns, and that is all on Saturday. Then Sunday, Box Hill Hawks get Casey Demons, and then we've got Geelong playing North Melbourne, Northern Bull Ants playing Williamstown. That is round one. It begins the 17th and 18th, although it actually begins on the 16th, 17th and 18th next Friday for the VFL, the expanded competition on the east coast of Australia.
Yep, it's. I'll be honest. I'm going to be upfront in saying it. I'm not a fan of what they've done here. I think it belittles the VFL. I think it belittles some of the clubs that have come from the NEFL, if you will, and have their own proud histories. I don't think it's required. I think the VFL needs to go back and be the VFL. And I think the AFL needs to be the AFL with a reserves competition. Otherwise, you just run into all kinds of problems. Professionals playing amateurs. We're seeing it in the South Australian Football League, the SANFL. We're seeing it at the Waffle. I don't like it. No more talking about it, Flowman.
Yeah, sort it. And, gee, that's our first talk break for our winter season, and you've already spat the dummy.
Toys out the cot. I'm not happy.
Not happy. It is the Friday Night Sports Show.